Hello. Welcome to Still Up Sports, Episode 7. Thank you for being still up with me. You know, it is currently 1:55 a.m., and we are here to normalize late-night sports talk. Thank you for dropping by, and thank you for popping by. You know, we have a lot of great topics tonight. I have some great stuff that we want to talk about. You know, we're going to talk about channel updates. We're going to talk about some current sports news, and then we got some Broncos stuff. You know, you got Broncos OTAs Day 3. Day 3 of OTAs, guys. The season is almost here. Who would have thought that it went by that fast? It's gone by so fast since the AFC Championship game, and we should be so grateful that it's gone by this quick. We're going to look into the inside linebacker room. I got some notes on them, not all of it, so we're just going to kind of go into it with what we got. And then besides that, you know, we definitely are going to go into our Q&A. I have a question or two that I've gotten off of Twitter, like one off of Instagram, and then a few from the chat, whatever's in the chat, and then whatever I've gotten in, previously or what I've been asked this week. So that's what we're going to add. Yeah, guys, thank you for showing up. You know, here at Still Up, we're just trying to work on pushing this idea of late night sports talk, normalize it, get it out there so that people will want to maybe create this idea in their own right, or at least just push this idea of talking late at night and pushing sports late at night. You know, you don't get nothing until the morning when the rest of everyone wakes up, unless you want, you know, their leftovers or their reruns or ESPN or NFL Network's reruns. So that's why you're here with me. We're going to talk Broncos. We're going to talk inside linebackers. We're going to talk OTAs. There's a lot going on, you know, with OTAs, from Jalen Waddle, new facility. So much to get into. Davis Webb, first-time play caller. Some on the team are saying a mad scientist. You know, we'll get into that part. But yes, so guys, we are going to have a great show, and we're going to start first with some channel updates. And before we even do that, we're going to look in the comments real quick in the live stream. Say hi to my cousin Thomas, who's in the chat. I hope you enjoyed that little shout out from Jamal Williams and the shout out from Tom Grassi. You know, Tom was just more focused on trying to, you know, get you guys a Packers Super Bowl. And he does not want to see the Bears win again. So Tom says hi. Jamal Williams says hi. And, man, that was so cool. You know, Jamal was such a kind guy for just showing up at that 30 for 30 event. I had so fun, guys, at the Tom Grassi 30 for 30. His Las Vegas video is already up. He's already getting videos up every day at this point. So if you're not following Tom Grassi, go check out Tom Grassi. Go check out what he's doing over there, you know, because he's raising a lot of money for St. Jude, and he's blowing past, you know, what his goals are already, but we need to keep it going. You know, it's for the kids, so that's why we're trying to really push this Tom Grassi stuff, because it was so cool to meet him. You know, I've looked up for Grassi for a few years, and especially Perna, too. So just to be able to meet Grassi and to be able to meet so many cool Bronco fans there, that we have a live chat. Those Bronco fans that I met, we have a live, a group chat. Yeah, we have a little group chat, and I really hope that we can meet up for a Bronco Raider game, guys. If not the Bronco Raider game, you know, there's Jake's Bronco Bar. There's a few Bronco bars here in town in Vegas. I'm sure we can always make it work at one point or another, whether all of us make it eventually or just some of us one time. You know, either way, it'll be a cool little thing to try to do. You know, it's awesome when you make friends from your own team that are, you had no idea they even existed. You know, you just never see them. So then to be able to see them and be like, oh, wow, that's so cool. And it was just so cool to be able to meet them. So that was awesome. But yeah, we're going to get into some channel updates, guys, after we look into the comments real quick. So Thomas says that he's not going to be able to stay up too late because it is, you know, on the weekend he'll be able to. It's still Friday morning. I actually just met a guy today, Thomas, who's from Reno. And he actually says he lives only like 5-6 miles away from where you're staying. So he knows. All right. Thomas, actually, any of your questions, I'm going to save for the end of the stream. So I will go back on the questions, but I will read through some of the basic stuff. Anything that would make a good question, we'll save towards the end. But Thomas did drop some stuff in here. All right, we will talk about the Knights because that counts as sports news. So we'll get into sports news real fast. That's a quick one. We could get into real fast, actually. So Golden Knights, man, 1-1. with Carolina. You know, it's going to be a crazy series. I still got the Knights, though. That's all I got with the Knights in terms of sports news. We'll get into the rest of sports news in the future, coming up soon after we do this channel shout out and look at the following that we've gained. But besides that, pretty excited to see how this series goes. But honestly, the Knights, you know, they can be the villains all they want. If people want to be mad that a city that is enjoying their homegrown team, that they didn't have a real good one of those for years, you know, if people want to be mad about that, so be it. If they want to be mad at us for winning, too bad. And I'm starting to use the word us, guys. And I'm not even a big Knights fan. I was never even a big Avs fan. I'm just locking into hockey this last year. So, you know, for people to be taking some shots at my city, you know, you're going to be pushing me towards being a Knights fan. So, you know, stop taking shots at my city. My city's just fine. You know, you want to talk crap about the team, that's fine. But don't talk stuff about my city. My city's amazing. It has its faults like all cities, but Vegas is amazing. Yes, guys, you can see Apollo up here. Apollo is, he's still up too. We have Huxley chilling over here. I might move the camera at one point if we want to go wider, even wider if we want to try to squeeze her in frame as well. But right now, we'll just keep Apollo up here. He's behaving right now, even though he doesn't want to be. He's being a good boy, though. But yeah, this is my co-host, Apollo Creed. He's sitting where the couch will be in the future. So whenever we have you know, co-hosts or little guests on the show, it'll be pretty cool to fit them here. But this is where he's sitting right now. But yes, he does say hi, and he's being a punk right now. Now he's smacking at me. See, look at him. Now he's biting me. All right. So let's go check in at this channel updates. Yes, I'm going to save all your questions, Thomas. I'm going to save those towards the end for Q&A because I only have so many others from other people. So you're going to be the bulk of tonight's Q&A, and that's fine with me, unless anyone else pops in right now. But we're going to keep going for a few hours. It is currently 2 a.m., you know, 2:02 in Denver right now. So we're just going to keep going. We're going to go at least till 4 or 5. We'll see how it goes. It's all right, guys. Sorry about that. Audio cut out for a second. Had to fix it. All right. So we will double check into this, you know, this growth that we got going on because it's pretty incredible to see where we're going. Let's go hop over on the X real quick. Man, if no one didn't see today's 30 for 30 video, so sick to see Brandon Perna and Tom Grossi going at it. You know, some of us some of us Bronco fans were really thinking that, you know, Perna's in for some trouble. But Perna, man, you are impressing us. You did right by Broncos country. You really put it on Tom right there. Look at that. Bam. Looking like Jalen Waddle out there. Ooh. All right. We are on X. We are on Instagram. Go check us out on Instagram. We're not having much trouble with Instagram with growing on there, so that's why I'm not really showing Instagram on here. We're just going to keep showing X and then Twitter and TikTok, just so we can try to get the growth going on some of those channels, some of those pages. All right. 26 followers on TikTok, guys. Let's go get 1 or 2 more on TikTok. I would really appreciate it. You know, we're trying to just get as far as we can and try and get as many as we can before the season starts. I would love on YouTube to really be pushing at least 100 something. But each week I'm going to be really going harder and harder with this stuff, guys. So we're going to be getting better. We're locking in, and we're about to take off. So, you know, TikTok, 26 followers right now. Let's try to go get 1 more. Still Up Sports. Also, it's Still Up Sports on all platforms right now. Twitter, YouTube, X, Instagram, just at Still Up Sports. All right. YouTube. Since the last stream, we've gone up like 2. Thank you to our newest sub. You know, Julia, thank you so much. I know my mother met you today and you decided to sub. I appreciate it. And then I'm pretty sure either your partner or someone else that I know, Ryan, from the Air Force Base here in Vegas. You know, I appreciate you for subbing, man. You did say that you subbed, so I do appreciate you if you did, man. You guys are so awesome. Every one of you guys that's trying to help me grow this idea of late night sports, or you're just subscribing because you're my friend, or you're my family, or you're just someone I know, and you're just being very supportive. It's really awesome of you, so thank you so much. All right, guys. So yeah, here we are. You know, go check us out on YouTube. If you are not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You know, why not? You know, help us get to 100. We're chasing some of these other pages out there. This was just this is our poll from today, so this is why we're talking inside linebacker, guys. The poll did say inside linebacker. But yeah, this is why, you know, I'm pretty pumped that, you know, we're already at 76, because this was made just, what, a few days ago, and this was 71. We were at 71, and look at us, 76. You know, we're growing every day, and there's so many cool of you. So many of you guys are so cool, because I got to meet some of you guys, and it was just so awesome to meet every one of you guys. Like, because I can say at least for sure, most of these subs I've gotten to meet in person, or I know off of online. So it's just pretty cool that I know a lot of you guys personally. And at one point, there's going to be a point with this channel where I may not know all of you guys personally. So this is why I'm really relishing and enjoying it, and just celebrating every one of you guys, because you guys deserve your shout out too. You guys deserve all the love that you guys deserve. So, you know, just grateful for all the support, guys. You know, we're going up slowly, and just so grateful for all the love. You know, so go check us out on Twitter, TikTok, and you know, on YouTube, guys. So if you're not subscribe on YouTube. You know, we got some more stuff coming out. I got an episode about Garrett Bowles coming out soon. Hopefully Monday, Tuesday, I'm going to try to get that out. It's already mostly filmed. I'm just trying to figure out some more stuff. It's all a process with me, so just bear with me, guys. All right, guys, and then so I do have today's script. Keep me on topic for today. So we are going to eventually get into the Broncos stuff, but I really wanted to do this and really look into this. So shout out to every one of you guys that have subscribed. Oh, yep, we're at 75 right now. Yeah, 75, not 76. If I said 76, then, you know, I'm sorry, guys. I'm at 75. So 75 is pretty crazy. Just to be there is awesome, because then we're only literally 25 away from 100, guys. We can make that happen. I know we can. But thank you guys so much, you know, to Still Up Sports, you know, the community. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to check out some sports news real quick. Like I was saying with Thomas, you know, we did check out the Knights, at least get into the Knights thing. Here we are. You know, the Knights lost in overtime, you know, so it's going to be a competitive series. It's going to be competitive. Yep, I guess Caitlin Clark vomited at halftime and recovered to score 13 points. That's an awesome headline to read, just straight like AI. Just read it right off like that. And so if you're an Aaron Judge fan, you know, it looks like he may be out. Yeah, Trent Williams does not seem happy about Myles Garrett being there. Noah Lyles, man, one of the fastest men in the world. You know, go check out Noah Lyles if you don't know much about him. Sorry, we're just doing a quick little look at whatever's up there on the news. Yeah, so if there's anything there that interests you guys, you know, I'm just, you know, also, how about the Knicks in Game 1, you know? That's going to be a fun little series. I'm still taking the Knicks, guys, just because I think that city deserves it. And I want to see the videos of what happens to Manhattan if that happens. So we'll see. And there's no such thing as the Brooklyn Nets. That's a myth. If anyone tells you otherwise, I'm sorry, but the Brooklyn Nets are a myth. There's only one team in New York. All right, guys. So we're going to jump over and we're going to get into some of these Broncos OTAs topics and really get into it. All right. All right, guys. So here we are. We're going to get into some of these OTAs topics. So, we had interviews today. I know Sean Payton, Talanoa Hufanga, Cortland Sutton, Jalen Waddle, they all really got to talk to the media. So I do got some notes from what I took from all that, and we'll see. At least I'll drop some of the talking points, So, we do have Sean Payton, he said Jonah Coleman's looking pretty good. And I will say, yes, Jonah Coleman does look like he belongs so far. From what clips we have, they've only allowed the media there one day, so this was day 3. I didn't really talk much about day 1 or day 2, but day 3, media was there, so at least we got to learn a little bit more. And it's exciting to hear about some of the stuff that's going on over there. And then also, guys, we got a new facility. This facility is going to be open soon. I haven't even seen the old one, or I never got to go to one of those training camp practices. But so if you've ever been to one of those training camp practices and gotten to sit on the berm or whatever, or you saw the old facility in any capacity, let me know what it was like, because I would have loved to have seen it, because it's going to be gone soon. But that new one looks really good. It looks great. I really love how this new facility looks and how fast they got it built. That just is a testament to what the Waltons and what the Walton Penner Group is doing. They're just building things fast. They don't care about anything. They'll just spend money. Whatever it takes, they'll just spend the money. They don't second guess it. Jonah Coleman's looking good. That was something that Sean Payton was saying. He did say that Waddle had a good week. But it's what much can you really expect in this first week? We're not going to see much, especially because with how limited the media is going to be there. So there's not much that we're going to get to see. But that's a great little conversation there, because I'm excited to see Jonah Coleman. I really think that he's in great position to learn off of JK. I saw some Raider fans on a podcast today talking about how the Broncos had a horrible draft, apparently, because we didn't need Jonah Coleman. They said that we didn't need it. They have no idea then, if they don't know about, the worries about JK's health. They have no idea or no. There's a reason why they're Raider fans, because, they want to sit there and talk about how, we don't need a Jonah Coleman. But yet, here we are, looking at an aging, gets hurt every season running back that we're excited to run it back with JK. It's not a shot at JK, but they should understand, if they have common sense, why we drafted a Jonah Coleman instead to say that we didn't need Jonah Coleman. That shows you that the Raiders, their fans don't know what they're even talking about. But Jonah Coleman, I'm so excited for him. I think he's going to be RB1 by the end of the year. I really do think that he's going to pick he's going to pick it up at one point. He may start out the gate slow, but, you got RJ, who should stay your permanent RB2. He should stay your permanent RB2 and really be like your guy that you get involved, out the backfield in some of these pass catching stuff. Maybe get him in the slot a little bit on a good matchup. That'd be nice. Let's see, guys. Let's see. He did say that Jahdae Barron, so if a lot of people have questions about Jahdae Barron, Jahdae Barron, he's going to be a hot topic this year, but I really think that he can be your tight end killer if you use him like that. I would love to see him used like that. Use him as your tight end killer. Really match him up against some of those guys. He had an interception against while covering a tight end against the Cowboys. He would have had a pick 6 while covering Kelsey against the Chiefs, I believe. He has a lot of potential, and I would love to see him on these tight ends. And then whenever you can, get him outside if you can. Don't just use him inside whenever you want to. Maybe if you need to, that's fine. But if you have to, or if you want to, try to really get him outside when you can, whenever Pat or Riley comes off, just get him out there. And then besides that, I would really love to see him just matched up against some of these tight ends, because there's that cornerback room is deep, and there's a lot to that room. Everyone keeps forgetting about Chris Abrams-Drain. He's just so sticky in coverage. And with Chris Abrams-Drain, he could be that whatever happens in that room insurance. You may want to just keep him around, and he's going to be affordable to keep him around if you want to. So, long term, he's going to be easy to get snag on a deal if you want him. Especially with this whole, Riley thing, this Jaquan thing, whatever happens. I would sign J-Mac. I love J-Mac. I think J-Mac should get the deal. I don't think you can pay J-Mac and Riley. Not with Bo's contract coming up, and not with everything else, that this team has to worry about. So I don't think you can sign both of them. And if I'm having my pick, I'm picking J-Mac. I think J-Mac is the best slot corner in the game. And yeah, guys, so we're getting set up soon in a manner where we can get Petros on soon. So hopefully after the Greek Festival. The Greek Festival is in Greek right now. Not Greek. It's in Denver, guys. The Greek Festival coming up soon. You see the Goonsville right here. The Greek Festival's coming up in Denver literally the next few days. I believe the 5th, 6th, 7th, maybe the 8th. I could be wrong. But yeah, the Greek Festival's the next 2 days. That's why you don't see Goonsville in the chat right now. Petros has a lot on his plate. He's setting up for all that stuff, and if I was there, I would totally be helping out if I could. If anyone is in Denver, go check out the Greek Festival. Go look for Goonsville. Go say what's up to Petros. Say Cody sent you. Just go say what's up. Go support the Greek community out there. The Greek community is small but big. They're small, but they make their presence known in Denver, so go support them. It's an awesome community out there, and I can't wait for the Greek community. The Greek Festival to happen out here in Denver. Here in Vegas. I'm so excited because I'm going to go out there. I'm going to rep the Goonsville. I'm going to go try all the Greek alcohol, Greek food. Go check out the Greek dancing, the Greek music. It's going to be so fun. But yeah, so that's why you don't see no Goonsville in the chat. But if you're in Denver, go check out that Greek Festival, guys. Let's see. A few other things that Sean Payton wanted that I wanted to touch on with Sean. Let's see. So he has been tipping his hat to Davis Webb, saying that he's been making the adjustment well. So Sean's probably as happy as he could want to be right now. But I'm just happy to see that. From what I'm hearing, Davis is using a lot of receivers more, and not as many two tight end like Sean was. So, maybe that's definitely a sign that Davis really is doing whatever he wants. It's really Davis's show. And a few more things real quick, that we got from Sean Payton is that no joint practices this year. I was talking back when we were doing the schedule release pod, and I did talk about preseason, and those are all Friday night games, so those are going to be great. But I did talk about in preseason, with that preseason schedule, that I was excited to see who we would maybe get to have that matchup with with the joint practice, because joint practices can really give your team a chance to let loose after going up against each other all training camp and off season. Really go up against someone else in camp that you'll also get to play that week, but. That's not going to happen apparently, and it's just makes sense with the schedule and how that and how these games keep getting longer. How these schedules keep getting longer and stuff. It just makes a lot of sense. So, even though I'm a little bummed that there's not going to be any joint practices, I would love a joint practice, guys. A joint practice would be so sick, but maybe next year. But I definitely don't think it's going to happen. Anytime soon. If it's not happening this year, it probably won't happen the year after. But either way, no joint practices, guys. I don't have too much left. Let's see. Oh yeah, and they said Waddle's going to get most of his reps outside. Waddle can go in if he needs to. He's going to get a lot of his reps on the outside, so that's going to be your outside guy. Don't like. And I'm sure that you could probably find packages and send them inside if you want to like put Troy or Pep right on the other side of Cortland. But it seems like that with. It seems that with Waddle, he's going to be an outside guy, which makes sense. That's fine with me. I'm sure that they know what they're doing with him. I'm really just excited to learn more and more of these this next week, and with another week of OTAs, and see how or what's coming out about like how comfortable this team is with Davis, and like how far they are maybe with installing whatever Davis wanted them to put in, because one would assume there's a lot of Sean Payton in this offense, but I'm sure that Davis is going to make it his own. So I'm excited to see how that could work. But yeah, so those were some talking points from Sean Payton, which are some good ones. You got Jahdae Barron talk. Is he going to be inside, outside? He's got flexibility, so we'll see what that means. I think that with Jahdae, though, he's going to have a real good chance to get plenty of reps this year, especially if you want to leave. There's so many good teams this year with high-powered offenses that at times maybe it makes sense to send Jahdae in there on the tight end and keep Pat on wide receiver 1. That just makes some sense with some of these matchups. But yeah, and then the Davis Webb talk. I'm sure that him saying that Davis is doing well. That's exciting. At least that from how it sounds. It seems like it's just it seems like it's him and not Sean. So, at least offensively, especially with what this talk is about. Them using a lot more receivers this last week. Yeah. So that was Sean Payton. Jalen Waddle. He spoke. So Jalen Waddle spoke to the media today, and so some of the questions he got were pretty cool. He was saying that he's just happy to help. He's just happy to be there. He's just happy to help in any capacity. He's not really like. I don't remember who it was. Asked him if he feels like a hired gun, and one of those media guys asked him about being a hired gun, and that's what he said. He's just happy to help, happy to be there. So. I would say that with Waddle, of course he would be. He has a guy like Cortland Sutton opposite of him. He's got a quarterback like Bo Nix. He has had to struggle with Tua for years. So I would give him the benefit of doubt, guys, that with Bo Nix in year 1, I mean, sure, there's that, it's his first year thing. But with Bo Nix year 1, I would really say that Jalen's in for a step up, even if this offense is, a process to learn or whatever. I don't think he's going to have any problems learning this offense either. If you guys have any questions or have any comments, feel free to drop them in after the fact if you're watching it after. All right, guys. So then let's see. He did say that, that he thinks Bo's a great leader, that he's a playmaker, and that they're trying to work on their timing. And timing will come, hopefully. And one of those topics, too, for OTAs was really that, Bo is out there, he is throwing. He's not wearing a boot, none of that stuff. He was doing like individual stuff, I believe, but he can still throw, and he's walking around perfectly fine. So I'm not worried about Bo. I trust that Bo will be fine. I'm not going to really look for any controversy with Bo. That's why we're going to spend less than like 30 seconds on it, because I don't think there's any controversy with Bo. Not much there. Sam Ehlinger, sounds like Sam Ehlinger is also looking good. That was another bit of OTA news. Sounds like he's getting more comfortable. Year 2 in the system makes sense. That happens with a lot of those QBs. They get a lot more comfortable in his system. Sorry, guys, I stepped away from the Jalen Waddle questions just so I can finish a few more of these OTAs topics real quick. Red Murdoch, sounds like he laid a little hit on Michael Bandy, but that stuff happens. It's a rookie. It was bound to happen. With how he plays, something like that was going to happen. So you can only hope that, he learns to be a little more safer or dial it back a little bit in practice, but he only has one speed, so... if anything, that's just promising, because I would really want to see what that band looks like going full speed. Because if he goes full speed, and that's why I'm excited for these preseason games, because there's so many depth guys that you're excited for. Plus the fact that it's a Friday night, so you can go out on Friday night, have a good time, and watch a football game. But also you can go out and specifically like watch some of these depth guys like York and Red Murdoch, and some of these guys really show up and see what they got. So I'm excited for some of these preseason games, because it's been a while that we've had. It's been a while since we've had some excitement like this when it comes to this inside linebacker room. That's why I'm happy that the polls have gone the way of inside linebacker over running back tonight, because I really wanted to get into the backers, just because I really do think that there's a lot of competitive nature there and a lot of competition there. I think you got a lot more, let's say, wealth there than you've had in many years before. You got a lot of quality talent. It's just a matter of who could make it, take that step up with actual reps. But there's some good guys in there, great backups, and a lot of great options. So when we do get into the inside linebackers, I'll say more about that. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so back in the Waddle. Let's see. He also talked about Cortland, saying that like Cortland's an elite playmaker, and that's the thing with Waddle and Cortland, and how this offense is going to be. Those two can just play off of each other, and I'm sure that they're gonna open up something for each other, let alone whatever might happen for the tight end or the running backs guys, or let alone that third receiver. We got so many talented receivers, and there may be a solid rotation down there at the third, but at the same time, there's going to be a lot of competition, and this wide receiver room is crazy deep, and you may not need to carry too many guys, because you know who it. Sorry, guys, you already know who you guys want at wide receiver for the most part. So it's just those bubble guys. You're going to just see if you can squeeze them on the practice squad or not. Those bubble guys being like if you want Bandy or if you want Lil Jordan Humphreys or something. Everyone should really just expect Cortland, Mims, Waddle, Troy, and Pat Bryant. It just makes sense to just roll with those guys. And then just try to squeeze whoever you can on the practice squad if you want them. And hope that you don't lose them. So yeah, he was saying that, let's see, he was talking about his traits, what he offers, what he brings to the team, that, he is fast and that he's physical, that he is, exciting. So, I definitely think that the speed, looking at those clips today, guys, of Jalen Waddle running, there's a little about that just feels like, ooh, this feels special. There's a little about that just really is exciting to see how Jalen Waddle's out there getting comfortable. And, from how it sounds from Sean, that, he's had a good week so far, so maybe he's really easing in better than some other guys would have. Sean's offense may have been bigger, but that doesn't mean that Davis's will be. Maybe Davis has cut it back a little bit. Maybe he's trimmed some of the terminology or changed some stuff up, so we don't know. But I'm excited to see how Waddle continue to look, especially when we see him in pads. Yeah, guys, the co-host is not doing anything. He's just sitting here. He just keeps sleeping. And what does he do all day? He sleeps. He sits in here in the studio and he sleeps. And he doesn't do anything. He doesn't, write anything. He doesn't hop on the computer. He doesn't turn anything on. He doesn't, record anything. He doesn't do nothing. He just sits here in his little cat tree, acting like a little baby. He doesn't do nothing. But I guess we'll cut him a pass. He can get a break today. Yep. He's a sweet boy, though. Yeah, the other cat's right over there, guys. She's laying down. She's relaxing, too, so it's just us. All right, guys, let's see. Oh yeah, and then he was talking about this wide receiver group. You know, Jalen's excited about this wide receiver room, and that's really excited. You know, for him to in coming over and making the move into this team. You know, he could have easily been like, oh yeah, now I'm wide receiver one. It's all about me. Give me the targets. No, he seems very excited to work with these younger guys and excited to be a part of this room, and so. Jalen is really living up to the hype from what it sounds like, from like his aura. It sounds like he's bringing a different aura with himself. And, maybe it's because he was like the one big off-season, addition. But it sounds like that there's a lot of aura going on around him. Like people are just like feeling it around him. And I'm just excited to see what we can grow from this, because this room is young, but it's talented. Mims, he's still in this room, and he's quite young still. So this room's pretty young, minus Court. Jalen may have a few years of experience, but he is in no way old. So this wide receiver room has so much potential, and the fact that you're running it back again, if you got a healthy Pat Bryant who stays healthy, if you get a Troy Franklin that has no bad like hamstring issues or nothing like that, and he stays healthy, that could be a big deal. I really do think they're going to keep feeding Troy somehow, no matter what. Troy will get his target somewhere. He's just going to get it. And maybe there's a little less on Cortland's plate this year because you have Jalen and because you have some of these other receivers that are taking a step up. So maybe you can do that. Maybe you can give Cortland a break at times, with Pat Bryant, with Troy Franklin, just give Court a break, especially because you already got Waddle out there. And I'm sure Waddle's going to make the adjustment easy with that altitude. It's just going to take a while, but with how fast he runs, he's going to be burning guys so fast in the first quarter, second quarter, that by the third quarter, fourth quarter, he's going to be burning them hard. They're going to be doing anything they can, and there's going to be some holding penalties just to try to slow them down. All right, guys. So now we got a few. Let's see. Someone asked Cortland some questions. Cortland had a few questions or a few responses. Let's see. Cortland did say that Waddle has nothing but great speed and acceleration. He's a great route runner. Yes. This route running with Jalen Waddle that Court's talking about, it's super crisp. Maybe there's something about it. It's just like he knows where. I don't know, guys. I'm drawing a little blank right here. It's been a long day, but I don't know. With Jalen Waddle right now, there's so much stuff that just comes off as hype, but the hype is real with Jalen Waddle. I'm all on board with believing that this hype is real now. So then I can fully be like, yep. That was me. I said the hype was real back when it happened, because some people were going to say, "Oh, that hype wasn't real," or maybe there might be an issue like with that Bo and the timing thing. Maybe Bo and his timing may get better. We'll see. It all takes time, and I really do think that Bo, there's nothing to worry about. I think that week one you're going to see Cortland Sutton, Bo Nix, Jalen Waddle out there, and it's going to look great. Will there be some chemistry or connection issues in live game reps with them? Maybe, but maybe only in the early season. I really do think that Waddle's going to go for like 1,300 yards, maybe 8 to 10 touchdowns. I really do think he's going to be a difference maker. It's because Waddle has some great, run after the catch. That was something that Cortland was really talking about, is that the run after catch with Waddle's crazy. And that's true. It's crazy. If you go back and just look at his highlights, the run after catch is pretty crazy with him. It's pretty impressive. All right, guys, a few other things. Cortland defended the tight end room today. He did not like that someone somewhere is talking crap about the tight end room. I'm not talking crap about it, and it sounds like Evan is looking good, guys. It sounds like some people were really thinking that Evan Ingram was looking good, or at least will be looking good. I trust that he's going to look like tight end one this year. I think that Evan's going to grow into his own this year. He had a rough year one, but some guys that when they come to Denver, they just really have a tough time adjusting. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do, and Evan was one of those guys that you could tell he was just the adjustment was not there, or like he just was not getting the attention, especially too. Like he was doing all he can, but when you don't get the balls thrown your way, when you don't get the targets, it's not going to do anything. How can you try to keep growing and getting better in the scheme if you're not going to get any targets? Let's see, guys. Let's see. Yeah, so Court's also excited about like Troy, Pat, Marv. That's awesome because Court is for the last few years. Court has been the veteran in the room, the old guy in the room, and you could tell that he's actually really embraced that role. He loves to see the young guys really succeeding and doing that, and I agree with Cortland. Just super excited for that room in general. Just like even Waddle was talking about it a little bit. He was talking about how he's excited to see some of what Marvin has, some of what those other guys have. That this room can really make a difference. It can really do a lot to open stuff up on offense for these tight ends, maybe for these running backs. And I hope everyone's having a great night. Feel free to drop a like, subscribe. This show, it's still quiet. It's still a small little tiny little procedure, but we're getting better. We're growing every day. We're gaining a sub or two every day, so that's pretty impressive. We're trying to work on our production, and we're trying to work on our topics and work on how we break stuff down and how we discuss things. So we are trying to get there and really improve on this stuff. So bear with me. It's a rough product at first, but I'm just grateful for every like, sub, comment, whatever you want to do, guys. So, and if you are here, thank you. If you are not here, thank you for not being here, because then you're not here and you're not happy and you didn't want to be here. But episode 7, we're a little bit into it. We are 40-something minutes into it, 43 minutes into it right now, guys. Currently creeping on 2:37 a.m. Mountain Time. So, if you're awake, I wonder why you are awake. If you are awake, tell me why you are still up. What makes you still up late at night to where you end up listening to this stuff live, or if you end up watching this stuff after the fact. I've come to learn that at night and stuff like this, I am completely alone at times, and there's no one listening, and it's just me. So, when I hear the mistakes I make on screen I automatically just kind of store that in the back of my head, and I'm like, well, I got to fix it. But it's just something else to handle and deal with in the future. So, yeah, guys, we're talking about some of these interviews that some of these players gave today. The little script, it's kind of corny, but, it's just so I could try to do anything to get better. Whether I write down some stuff and, just to know that, hey, I should bring this up or whatnot, I'm doing my best. That's why I've been cutting some of these shows at just 2 hours or 2 hours-ish. Because I would like to go longer, but if I don't have any pre-recorded content to air during the stream, and if I don't have any interviews lined up, or jumping on any people's shows during the stream, or nothing else to air during the show, then it kind of makes some of that time. It kind of makes it hard to go for 3 or 4 hours when it's just me. So when it's just me, because some people don't want to listen to just me, especially with my stuttering or my rambling sometimes. So part of why we have the script, but also we're just trying to figure our way out. So feel free to help out and drop a subscribe, drop a like, drop some comments on like what you would like to see me do to maybe change stuff or get better, whether it's something that I should do personally with the show, or if it's something that you would like to see on the end of like the production or the like quality or the graphics or something like that. We're trying to figure this stuff out. We're a very low budget show, guys. We're self-funded, and that budget is not huge. That self-funded budget is not big. That's kind of like what little money I have left at the end of the week can go towards whatever for this, whether it's new animations or new graphics, or it's going to be like new pieces of tech or stuff, or if I'm paying for software and stuff like that. Like I'm paying for StreamYard, and I'm making the move over to StreamYard this weekend for sure. That's why there's not going to be any streaming this weekend at all, probably. Even though I wanted to stream Game 3 of the Knights Carolina game, I'm probably not going to stream anything this weekend just because I'm just going to be sitting on the computer all the time, moving stuff over and doing stuff on the computer. So hopefully by Monday I can do the first stream on StreamYards. That way we can get guests on and make the show go a different way, a different pace. It will change everything when we start getting guests on, or when we start popping on other people's stuff or doing stuff with other people. Because right now, this little vibe with just me, only so many people are going to enjoy this tiny little vibe at night, let alone when you rewatch it. So especially when I don't have any like big guests lined up, or I don't have any like cool videos that I can drop and air that last like maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes of a stream time to really carry that on. I am still wanting to work on getting that little I do want to carry on and have a phone call-in line. So whether you call and just leave a voicemail, that's probably what I would want, is that you left a voicemail and then I can pre-check them and see if they're safe to air, and then I could air them and then answer the questions on air, whether it's me and a guest answering on air, or just me or the chat answering at all too. It'll be fun. We're just at 75 subs. We're just doing what we can. But I'm just grateful, and I smile when I even say that, because to be at 75 and then to see where we once were back in February, pretty crazy, guys. To see where we were back in February and there was like only 3 or 4 subs, and to see where we're at now, pretty crazy. And that's only because all of you guys wanting to support me for the most part, because I know most of you personally again. So thank you so much. Yeah, guys, Cortland Sutton also said that Davis Webb is a mad scientist. That quote was Davis Webb being talked about by Cortland Sutton. Cortland says that Davis Webb is like a mad scientist when it comes to offensive and, scheming and football and stuff. So there's some excitement there when it comes to this whole Davis Webb thing there, too. No matter who's talking about Davis Webb, everyone's excited. It doesn't matter if it's the players or if it's the coaches or if it's us, the fans. We are all excited about Davis Webb. We know we almost lost him to Vegas, so it makes us feel like we got a gem. We got something really impressive here, and now we just really want to see it, because we want to see if it can pan out and what comes out of that. I'm really excited to see Davis, and I want to see what he's got going on, like how he wants to make this run game look. Is he going to change the run game up a little bit? I want to see what he's got going on, because if what so far is true with like how they've been playing this today, at least there was a lot of like no tight end. There was a lot more wide receivers out there, and we got the wide receiver core to do it. We got the staple of horses to do it, guys. That wide receiver room can really get at it, and if you want to run the hell out of them, you can, because you got legit wide receiver 2s going back to your 5th wide receiver. Jalen and Court are 1s, but now Court gets to be your 2. So then everyone else after Court, they're all 2s, and they're your 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So, and that's not counting guys like Humphreys or what's his name? Bandy, So we got a great wide receiver room. Really excited to see it. But yeah, and Davis is gonna find he's gonna find a way to use these guys in the best way possible. He's gonna really blend, and it's gonna be cool to see because he's gonna be the first Sean Payton disciple to really get to still be the disciple while taking over a play calling duty long term, at least longer than what anyone else ever had. Because Pete Carmichael did not have it long. I think he only had it like one game before, or like any other time before. I'm sure someone only had it for a small period. All right, guys, and then one more, thing, that Talanoa Hufanga, he did do an interview as well. So he hit on a few things. He said that he wants to try to take the ball away. He did say it's an excuse, but the club on his hand as he was coming back from the wrist surgery, he was saying that the club really messed up his depth perception and his hand-eye coordination as he's trying to make those catches on those picks. He knows that he had a lot of them go his way, and that some of them he should have easily caught. So he was really tough on himself when it came to that. Tougher on himself than any of us could have ever been on him, because he should have caught them, and he knows he should have. So he's pretty disappointed in not being able to take away those balls. So that's why he's working on right now, and especially now that he can go into another year without the club now. He should be more comfortable, and hopefully he can take away some of these balls, because there's so many opportunities left out there that had Huff actually came up with the ball. Who knows what could have happened. All right, guys. He's so pumped to have Brandon Jones back, and I'm so pumped for Brandon Jones to be back too. BJ, he's a vibes guy, and no one really knows much about him because he just goes under the radar. It's easy to not pay attention to what Brandon Jones is up to, and that's because he just does his job so well, and he's just quiet. But he seems like he's a vibes guy, and the room loves him, locker room loves him, and seems like that. Talanoa is really excited to have his guy back, and I'm excited to see BJ back out there, because I think there's a lot of guys on this team. They're going to be really getting their attention, and they're going to probably get the love they finally deserve. So I think you can expect Brandon Jones to probably take a big step up this year. He's getting more and more comfortable. It's a contract year. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to really go out there and ball out for that contract, whether it's from Denver or it's from someone else. So, Brandon Jones back, that's pretty awesome. He had something else to say about Waddle. Everyone had something to say about Waddle, but he was even Hufanga said that Waddle is out there and he makes every route look easy, and it's just because he can stop and go, or the way he moves, he just makes it look so effortless. So there's all this Waddle hype. There's crazy Waddle hype, and it's rightfully deserved. I'm really excited to see how that goes, guys. Jalen Waddle, I'm trying to decide which jersey I want this year. There's three that I'm contending for. I want a Waddle. I want an Alex Singleton, but I'm really leaning into getting Malcolm Roach. I got to meet the Roach family at the Bronco Raider game last season, so that was pretty cool. Just to be able to meet them and talk to some of them, that was pretty awesome. And Roach, he's going to really be getting a lot of extra attention this year now that we don't have JFM. And Roach, man, he can really take that step up. He can really he was putting on some sacks toward the end of the season. And if he could pick up where he left off, that can really help the D-line. And I would gladly sacrifice some sacks if it meant getting some turnovers, guys. If we can get a little more turnovers on defense, I would gladly give up some sacks. I would be totally worth it, and I'd be totally grateful. It'd be awesome just to get done. So, that's something that we also had on there that, talk about. Yeah, and he was talking about that footwork, with Waddle, saying that, Waddle's got some footwork, and then it's there. Go watch the videos. I don't have to really say much about Waddle for you guys. Just go look up the Jalen Waddle highlights and the little clips, and just get you excited. You say this guy looks legit. He looks like legitness, as the kids would say. Yep, guys. So let's see. All right, so that's for the most part, what I got in my small bit of notes for what the players or what Sean said in the interviews. But we'll see how these notes keep growing too, and how this script keeps growing every day. But the next show will be Monday morning. It'll be a Monday morning show. If I don't go live Monday morning, it'd be Monday in the afternoon, and that's just because I'm going to spend literally all weekend on computers, so getting some stuff done, just sitting here getting stuff done. But so we are going to step away from Broncos OTAs, conversation. Let's take a break, guys. We're gonna step away and jump into something else real quick. Let's go jump over to Goonsville Clothing, guys, because Goonsville, you see it on me right now. It's so clean. Goonsville Clothing knows what they're doing. They're changing the game. If you're at the Greek Festival, go look for Petros. Goonsville's got your back. They're going to make sure that you look good while you also kill it in whatever your craft is. There's so many of you guys that just have so many crafts, whatever you're doing, whether you're in sports, whether you're in business, whether you're in social media. And if you want to look good while doing whatever you do, go with Goonsville. Goonsville, I at least look 1,000 times better than the product that I make. And it's because I'm sitting here and I'm in my Goonsville, guys. My point is the Goonsville looks clean. You can make Goonsville look clean. Goonsville makes you look clean. It's a great product to have, He's got a great catalog with all kinds of options on there. Go get that 10% off. And if you're at that Greek Festival, like I said, go find Petros. If you're in Denver Greek Festival, go find Petros, go find Goonsville. Tell him Cody sent you. Say what's up. Yeah, guys. Goonsville's so awesome. Goonsville means so much to me, man. Petros, he's like family to me. When I first met him, he was talking about just like, owning your craft and all that. And I was just like, man, this kid's a hustler. That's all I could think about him at first. I was like, man, this guy's a hustler. He's just pushing his business, awesome guy, awesome businessman. And then when I get to learn about what he was doing and I met him and I talked longer and longer and we continue to talk often and I see the growth in Goonsville every day, and Goonsville is changing the game. So if you want to go support an awesome business, an awesome person, an awesome businessman, go support Petros, go support Goonsville, and go look clean. Look at these awesome outfits. Look at all these goons. You can look clean. They got all kinds of colors, all kinds of schemes, outfits. Goonsville can really work something out with you. If you're trying to find a cool color, cool outfit that you're working with, Goonsville will take care of you. Goonsville makes the best stuff out there, the best clothing. It's super clean, fully embroidered. It's awesome, man. I really love Goonsville, and they're just getting started, guys. They're at the beginning of what they're doing, so get in and support now, so then you can say that you've been a goon from the beginning. All right, guys, just had to jump over and give some love to Goonsville. Goonsville makes me feel so awesome just sitting here. Yeah, guys, I feel so good just sitting here in my Goonsville and just talking to you guys, rambling just about whatever it is, honestly. Yep, the cats left us. They did not want to spend any time with us, guys. All right, guys, so we're going to get into this inside linebacker discussion real quick because we're going to keep this pod probably going for at least another hour. We're just going to keep it at 2 hours tonight until I start having some pre-recorded content to air on stream, as well as trying to get like some interviews or guests on air. We're gonna probably keep these streams just about 2 hours or so, but I do want to do a long one on one of these weekends, just to try to set a record at least, so that way we can have a record. Because I'm gonna have to look online and see who has the longest Broncos live streaming record. Let's see, guys. All right, 1 second. Let me look this up. But yeah, guys, feel free to come check us out. 75 subs. We're doing our best. It's been a fun process with this channel. We do have a Q&A to make sure after we talk about linebackers, we'll dive into a bunch of these questions real quick. But just to say, this channel and all the progress and all the process with this, man, it's been rewarding and informative. There's a whole lot that comes with this whole technology thing, from like the sound, the audio, to the software, to all this stuff. There's a lot to it when you're like me and have been really disconnected from technology for a long period of time. So to learn it, it's really fun and really informative. So it's awesome. And in this, especially the fan engagement, the engaging with other Bronco fans, that's the best part. When someone actually drops a cool question and I can actually try to think about it, it's nice. I really do appreciate it. And no matter how stagnant growth gets at one point, or how stagnant certain things get, or I shouldn't use that word. No matter how things go with this channel, we're going to just keep trying to push some videos out, push some content out, push some streams out. We're doing 3 late night streams a week. Monday morning, Wednesday morning, Friday morning are going to be our late nights. Those are going to be the nights that we're doing our late night streams. And then we will be doing, on the weekends, we're going to be doing watch-alongs, unless I'm preoccupied. And if I am preoccupied, during those weekends, I guarantee you I'm going to still be recording stuff, because that's the best time for me to sit down and really put time in on the computer. So we're really locking in, and we're going to really be going into... We're going to kind of kick things into turbo drive in the next few weeks, guys. So especially as we creep up, I had 75 subs. As we creep up and keep creeping... I was pretty sure we went to 76, but I think we lost one. And if we lost one, that's okay. Yeah. I think we... Let's check. Yeah. YouTube is saying 75, but YouTube Studio is saying 76. But it probably hasn't refreshed. So... we gained one and then we lost one, so it's okay. So let me see. You want to come up here, huh? Come here, buddy. Cat's up on the lap. He's sitting here with us. So the cat is still up. He's clearly still up. I'm just checking a few things. We're kind of just sitting here for a second. Let me double check a few stuff. Yeah, YouTube's saying 75, but Studio's saying 76. So, which means we definitely were at 76 and someone dropped off. So, if we're not your cup of tea, I understand. It's going to be rough. It's going to be bad, and you don't want to stick around, that's okay. We're going to keep growing, and, I hustle for most of these subs, and if you don't want to stick around, it's not something that you like, it's okay. I totally understand. But But yeah, guys, so with this inside linebacker room, that's about to be a fun discussion. I'm really excited for it. Go check out some of the other platforms real quick. We are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we are on TikTok, and then starting next week, we should be doing the cross-platform streaming. So we will be streaming on YouTube, Twitter, and on TikTok. So we will not be streaming on Instagram. Any Instagram streams are probably going to be just Instagram streams, you know? But, yeah. Let's jump back over to my screen. Oh, here we are, guys. There we go. You're back with me. I know, I almost played that intro video again. So you guys, this is the whole producing thing, you know, that I really suck at. I suck at a lot of this stuff, but, you know, I feel like at the same time I'm getting better every day, so I'm having fun with it. Every day it's been positive for me. Can't really knock me down when I'm just having fun with it, so it doesn't feel serious yet. It just feels fun, and like I'm trying to just do something a little bit each day, whether I'm learning how to edit something or I learn how to do something. So every day I learn something tiny. And even then, today we still gained a sub, because today we gained 2. And even if we lost one of them, so be it. It's all right. We went from 74 to 76 to 75, so we still gained 1. Thank you for subscribing, guys. I appreciate every one of you guys for sticking here with me and helping me, you know, with my dream of pushing late night sports talk. All right, so we're gonna get into this inside linebacker room real quick. So with this inside linebacker room, guys, I don't really think there's much to really go into with Alex Singleton and with Sternad. I mean, you know, Singleton's coming back. You know, he's your captain. He's going to be your green dot probably. You know, nothing different there. Maybe he's going to take a year up. A step up. I think that it would be awesome, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're primed or in for an Alex Singleton, you know, breakout year. Not a breakout year, but like a step up year, where he actually really takes a big leap. I wouldn't be surprised. Alex Singleton has it in him to do that, and there's some vibes around him that I would just love to see Alex Singleton make a Pro Bowl or something. I would love that. But in terms of Sternad, you know, I think that's the fun discussion, because I think Sternad is going to be a Pro Bowler. I think Sternad is going to be an All-Pro, maybe. He's going to be one or the other. I think he's an All-Pro or a Pro Bowler at minimum. He was having a great year when he stepped in and then filled in for the rest of the year. But if he got to start the whole year, I think he would have really been in contention for a Pro Bowl. He's gonna just keep getting better. I expect that in year 2 of being a full-time starter now, you know, he's gonna look good. I'm excited to see Sternad. You know, you got Bailey and you got 2 of them. I know that. Let's see. Yeah, so you got Bailey and Corene Reed, you know, Lavelle Bailey and Corene Reed, you know. Those 2 guys are really on the hot seat, in my opinion, because you got guys, and Jordan Turner. You got Jordan Turner there, too. You know, oh, and then you got Drew Sanders, you know. So if you're a Drew Sanders stan, you know, if you're a big Drew Sanders guy, maybe don't have your hopes up so high. I think Drew Sanders is probably gone. I think this is the year, guys, where Drew Sanders is gone. But I think if you're Corene Reed or you're Lavelle Bailey, you know, you got guys like Torian York and Red Murdoch behind you. And you got Murdoch out there making plays already, showing that aggressive, you know, nature in him. So I wouldn't be surprised to see one of these guys get pushed out, just because you got guys like York and Murdoch behind them. Maybe sneak one of those guys onto the practice squad. I think you have an embarrassment of Richards. It's just a matter of they're all young and have potential, but none of it's really proven. So you got to find a way to make it proven. Yeah, and then you got the Jonah Ellis discussion, man. Jonah Ellis making that switch, or at least he's still going to get snaps at outside, but just to have him inside and see how that goes, maybe it gives him a chance to stay a little healthier, play a little more free. I'm excited to see how you get these guys and how this rotation could work out, because to have a guy like him, maybe as like a reserve inside backer while still being like your backup edge, that would be cool. I'd like the idea of making him like edge number 3, and then ILB 3 or 4. I'm not opposed to that, just because we need to see him at ILB first, but I'm not opposed to seeing it, because I really do like the idea of Ellis being there and being a multifaceted player. Some people didn't like the idea, but I've grown to the idea, really, that I think that he's going to make it work out. I trust what he's going to do. Yeah, guys. So Red Murdoch and Torian York, one could really look at him and say, like, Murdoch is your big downhill guy, most forced fumbles in college football, and just laying Bandy down today. There's so much excitement with Red Murdoch, and I know that a lot of us are excited for Murdoch. He's a guy that was towards like the 5th round or so. You started seeing people that were calling for him on in Denver or in other teams, saying like go get this guy, and he just kept falling. So to get him as Mr. Irrelevant, and he's going to be Mr. Relevant this year because of all the stuff going on with this hype and stuff. I think Red Murdoch makes this team. Not worried about it. He's going to have a bad camp for me to not say that. I mean, most of us really think that he's in for a good camp. He's going to have a good camp. And I don't think there's much to say with Murdoch at that point, other than he's going to be pushing one of these guys, whether it's Bailey, whether it's Drew Sanders, Turner. Some of these guys are not going to be back. And in terms of like the 5 that you got, maybe it's Singleton, Sternad, Ellis. And then it's you got Murdoch, and then maybe you got Reed or Bailey and Murdoch, or maybe you got Murdoch and York and neither Bailey and Reed, or maybe it's out of those 4, Reed, Murdoch, York, and Bailey. You're gonna have to pick, and there's some great potential with all of them, but I really got some good feelings about these 2 rookies this year. York and Murdoch. A lot of people do. So I'm not alone with thinking that there's some bright things ahead for those 2. And it's just a matter of if they're making plays early or who's making plays. But I think Murdoch makes this team. And then I think it's possible York can make the practice squad. I don't know if you hide him on your practice squad. I don't know if you can hide him. So that's why I'm saying maybe you end up with both of them, and Murdoch and York can really bring some pressure to some of these guys, like Bailey and Bailey and Kearney Reed. There's a chance these 2 rookies really steal some of those spots, or just create so much competition that they end up taking the spots, and you got Ellis as like your reserve inside linebacker, so there's not too much to worry about there, I guess. But yeah, guys, with this inside linebacker room, there's so much competition, though. There's teams, like, there's been years in Denver where we've had to worry or stress out about this competition, and I'm not too stressed about this competition. I'm just excited to see it play out. However it happens, I'm expecting the best will rise to the top. But I'm also excited to see some of these guys maybe get their spots stolen from some of these younger guys. And these younger guys they got a lot to them. I'm excited for York. Really, I don't think you hide Murdoch or him. You're not going to hide either of them on your practice squad. So it's a matter of if you think you're okay. I mean, maybe York, but definitely not Murdoch. You're not hiding Murdoch on your practice squad. So I think Murdoch makes the team. York, we'll see. But if he doesn't make the team, there's a chance that you try to put him on practice squad and you're going to lose him. All right, guys. So currently we are at 3:10 a.m. Mountain Time. So if anyone is up, thank you for being up. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for watching after the fact. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, feel free to drop them, after the fact in the comment section. Thank you for being still up with me. And we will be doing a Q&A soon to, wrap this all up soon. In about 12 minutes, we'll start Q&A. We're just kind of talking inside linebackers real fast. And so, another thing, guys, I'm really excited about is, with these inside linebackers, hold on. Cat again, guys. See, look. He can't help himself. He can't help himself. He can't help himself, guys. He just has to be in the camera. Come here. Come on, up. Up. Hold on, guys. Look, dog. It's a dog. And a jealous cat. The cat's getting jealous. It's a dog. Yeah. And the whole time the dog was on my lap, man, the cat was right here. Apollo was just trying to smack at him. He was not liking it. He gets jealous real easy. But, yeah, guys, so that's Regis, the dog. And then, the cat, that's Apollo. They're frequent guests on the show. I just let them do them. I'm not going to close the door and shut them out unless I really need to. Because if I close the door, that's when they actually get loud. They're more quiet when I let them be. If I keep that door closed, they're going to start scratching at the door or whining or meowing or, wanting to get inside or outside. And then I can't play this whole inside-outside thing with them, guys. They have to pick inside or outside for this. And they can't just be... I can't play that inside-outside thing with them, so that's why I leave it open. So by leaving it open, it keeps them their quietest because, they're just relaxing and chilling most of the time. If not, that's why you'll hear, dogs talking, dog talking or, cats getting noisy. I feed the cats right before I go live. That way you don't hear, the old lady meowing her all the time because she's going to be meowing for her dinner. And I get off work, I come home, and I give her dinner. Yeah, guys, and with this tight end, with this inside linebacker room, I think you only keep 5. And one of them can obviously be Ellis. Because Ellis can be your edge as well. All right, yep. So, yeah, and then with York, he may be undersized, but he has some coverage ability to him. So that's why, maybe has a chance to develop and, maybe make his mark. But with Murdoch, with Murdoch in York, especially, that's why I like this training camp. I think, and then these preseason games, we're going to be really locked in on these backup rookie linebackers because we think that they can really take some positions away. Or we can at least see if they can push or create some extra competition against some of these other guys in that room, like Reed and Bailey. Yeah, if you heard that humming, guys, that was the fridge over here. I do apologize. I'm going to probably rearrange in here and move the fridge more. Every day we get a win somehow, whether it's a sub or we do something on the computer or we rearrange the studio. We get something done. So that's going to be something that maybe gets done on the weekend. But besides that, we're going to be on the computer all weekend, trying to get that Garrett Bowles video out, because I have a Garrett Bowles video out coming out soon. And it's a little hot take I've had for a year or two about Bowles. And we'll see how everyone likes it. It's going to be my first actual video that I've put some effort into, and we'll see how it goes. But it's going to be fun. But yeah, so Garrett Bowles video hopefully coming out Monday or Tuesday. Just depends on it, guys. Depends on how fast I can figure this stuff out with Streamlabs while still. If anything, I'll film the video on Streamlabs, because that's what I know. But then StreamYard, hopefully Monday or Tuesday, we'll do our first StreamYard stream. Because then at that point, maybe Petros will be done with the Greek Festival. If not, we're going to wait another week before we could try to get Petros in Goonsville on air as guest number one. After Petros, then we will begin, some of this network with asking other people to come on air. I'm not going to ask another platform or another creator to come on to my show or to record anything for my show until I've had Petros on air, because I've promised Petros gets to be the first guest. So I'm not going to film any interviews with anyone before until Petros has come on air still, because he gets to be the first person to show up on the screen and on still up, because Petros and Goodzill's just family. They've been so supportive. And that support does not go unnoticed from everyone. Every person that supports, it's all that goes noticed for sure. I notice it all. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions about this inside linebacker room, any points about this inside linebacker room, drop it in the comments. I really do think that, if we're just moving Sternad and Singleton aside out of the question, you got those four to really look at. And I think Ellis you can move out of the question too, just because, he's going to get snaps and it's going to be limited, but he's still going to get snaps at edge too. So I think you can move Sternad, Singleton, and Ellis, move that discussion aside, and you really look at those four and try to look at those four and think who can make it, who will. And maybe it's just me having a bias towards the rooks, but I really would love to see, how crazy would it be to see both those rookies come in and push Bailey and, to push both of them out, or at least challenge them or push one of them out. And then, whoever, no matter what, that just shows you that this is one of those years you're actually decently deep at inside linebacker, guys. So it's not something we're used to. We're not used to being decently deep at linebacker, and here we are. We got plenty of talent, plenty to be excited about in linebacker. So let's just relish in that and enjoy that. But we got some cool stuff to enjoy with linebacker, and to see the potential of maybe Red Murdoch, the potential of Torian York. You still have Lavelle Bailey, and you still have Karene Reed, but maybe it's time to make a move on one or two of them, because these rookies are just doing so good. Who knows? All right, guys, I do think that we will probably hop into some Q&A in a second. But, when we talk inside linebacker, that was a little fun. I'm sure there's more to it that I'm not hitting on. Ellis is still going to, of course, get snaps at inside backer, which is going to be fun because think about the kind of formations you can use or, whatever, may be possible with it. There's some cool stuff there. All right, guys, we're just going to jump into Q&A right now, and I'm going to answer a few questions real quick. Let me double-check one on Twitter. I did have one on Twitter I want to check. Alrighty. Alright. Okay, guys, so I do have a question off Twitter. We're going to read it off right now. Let's see. Sorry, I had it and then popped away. Where are you? Alright. So this is from Keith. Keith on Twitter. He asked, and he did mention on the last show, so episode 6, he said, excited to see the focus on NFL news and trades. He said the Waddle versus Brown debate is a hot topic. That's because on the last stream we did get into all the whole, Waddle versus Brown, trade value, who might have gotten the better of who. And I do think the Broncos won that trade still. I do believe they did. I think that they... guys. Sorry, audio cut out again. All right. But yeah, so Keith did mention about that, the Waddle Brown, trade, and that was a good conversation to have. And then, he also said that I think we often underestimate the impact of channel growth on audience engagement. Curious how you plan to keep that momentum going. With channel engagement, I really do hope to, continue the polls, continue, trying to get you guys to comment after the fact. I do hope that, I can... in the future, some of these interviews I want to air live on stream are not just going to be, players or media. They're going to be fans too. I do want to interview fans. So if you got a webcam and you're able to, in the future, I'm going to make sure all I got to do is send you a link and, we can film something and I can do a nice little interview of you that I can air on the stream. Because I wanted to give, at one point during these shows, I want to end with like a fan segment where we're giving honor or props to a Bronco fan. There's so many Bronco fans out there, guys, that deserve their props and their attention. So that's why in the future, besides like how I've talked about with fan engagement, I would love to do the call-in line. So you can leave a voicemail that I could play on air, and people can see what you're thinking about. Besides that, though, I really do think with like fan engagement, there's ways to make this work in terms of getting them on screen for interviews, and letting the fan have their moment and feel like what it feels like to be the star, because without the fans, this doesn't work. It's the fans that make the whole league work. It's the fans that make this whole game work in terms of, how we talk about ball, why we talk about ball, and how we enjoy talking about ball. So, fans make it all work. Being able to make friendships with friends at tailgates or at other sporting events, that's also, such a gem that comes with the sport is, just the relationships that could be made with other fans. So... fan engagement's huge, and it means a lot to me, especially with how small this channel is. I'm still at a point with how small it is that I can, for the most part, engage with every single one of you. So as long as we're still small and we keep adding, and we still remain decently small. I'm not gonna miss a comment. If it might take me a day to get to it, but I'm not gonna miss a comment. I'm not gonna miss like a response. But yeah, with the fan engagement, maybe I don't know if we'll be big enough to do any like meet and greets or nothing, nothing like that. But maybe like when we're in Denver, I can at least see if anyone wants to hang out, meet up, or go do something. That'd be fun. Just do stuff, talk with just so I can sit there and we can talk ball, talk about the season, talk about that Chiefs game that I'm going to have been at that week. So, who knows how that's going to go. But, I think that it's going to be an exciting time in Denver. And in the future with fan engagement, of course, I'd love to meet people in person. But that's only limited unless you're in Vegas. If you come to Vegas and you reach out, I am available Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So if you reach out and you are in Vegas, whoever you are, if you're a sub, if you are just wanting to talk Broncos ball, if you are a Bronco fan, just reach out. We'll talk ball. We'll go meet up. We'll go get drinks. I have no problem extending that courtesy to all you guys. Just to be able to meet up and go talk ball. If I'm in Denver, when I am in Denver, I would love to meet up with some people as well, but who knows what's going to really happen. I got a concert lined up, and I got the Bronco Chiefs game. Sorry, guys. Broncos Chiefs game's next. And then besides that, I got, hopefully, in that period of those 2 weeks that I'm in Denver, we're going to squeeze in an Avs and a Knights game. I mean, an Avs and a Nugs game as well. So that way, we've hit, all the Denver sports plus a concert. I'll be at Ball Arena 3 times at least during that trip for a concert and for Avs game and for Nuggets game. So I'm pretty pumped for that, guys. Denver's going to be fun. But for your question of fan engagement, Keith, we're going to just do whatever we can, whether it's in person, whether it's getting people on here for interviews, whether it's getting people to leave questions or comments. On all the platforms or here on YouTube. And then besides that, maybe trying to get that, voicemail call line in, just so you guys can call and leave your opinions. So yes, fan engagement's a big deal. And with the channel engagement, I do believe fan engagement's a big deal because a lot of these subs are still homegrown. Petros said with Goonsville, he got his first 10,000 subscribers from handing out 10,000 business cards. And I really have gotten a lot of my subs from handing out my little QR code sticker, I've gotten most of my subs from trying to get them or having, people that are close to me try to snag 1 or 2 subs from people they know. So, we're going to do whatever we can for fan engagement. And if there's anything you guys think that I can do in the future for fan engagement, drop it in the comments. Let me know. And we'll do what we can to fix that. I've already said also, if you want free stickers, stickers are free. You just tell me and I'll get them to you. I just need to know where to send them to you and reach out to me personally. That way, your address isn't going to end up anywhere. So just reach up to me personally. If you want some stickers, I'll hook you up. I got a little bit more of those Gen 1 stickers. Not a lot of them, but we still have we have a decent amount still. And whenever we get closer to running out, I'm going to stop talking about them and then just give what few ones I have left away. But we still have about half of our stickers left. So if anyone wants some, Gen 1 logo stickers, they're free game. Just let me know and reach out personally. Or just let me know and I'll reach out to you. You just tell me how to reach out. And that way we can exchange information privately. All right, yeah, so we're going to jump up into some questions from the live chat real quick from Thomas. Thomas had some questions. My mother, she had, we want Von Miller. Every day, I'm growing more and more to this whole bring Von back thing, but I would also very much love Cam Jordan. It wouldn't be a bring Cam Jordan thing back because he hasn't been to Denver. But I think that Cam Jordan could really bring a lot to that room, take a lot of weight off of, let's say, guys like Alan Roach, who maybe expected to fill in automatically. But I would be happy with Vaughn if he came back. If and whenever that news were to ever break, I would never complain about it. I'd be pretty excited about, pretty happy about just to see Vaughn coming back. So if it happens, it happens. So yeah, I got a lot of love for Vaughn, and I really do hope so. Let's see. All right, Thomas asked in the chat, what really made you want to do streaming? I did not originally want to get into streaming, and I still feel the learning and growing pains with it, honestly. I still feel like, I've said it before, but I'm brutally honest about myself and everything. So like during the channel's growth, if anyone followed on Instagram, they saw every little post of me acquiring every little piece of equipment every week. And that was just kind of me showing you guys like I'm trying. But I make $14 an hour, so I have to do my best with trying to save up some weeks to buy things, or at least to budget my things for the studio. But yeah, in terms of, I never wanted to do streaming. I wanted something else. I did not know what that else was. I just know I wanted something else in life. And, I just did not want to just keep working and coming home and, stay home for a little bit, then go to work, and then come home and relax, and go back to work again. I did not want to fall into that routine. So by creating the channel, something I got from that is a little bit of purpose, is because it keeps me busy, it keeps me something, with focus to do. With these 3 streams a week, the day before each stream, I'm just writing the script, and at least this last week I started with scripts. But my point is, it's going to keep me busy with the script. It's going to get me busy with up here. Soon, I want to turn this screen into a teleprompter, because then I can read my words off, and maybe it really helped me a little bit, guys. I was an IEP kid. I was a ADD kid. I was a speech class kid. I was a study hall kid, and that was because I was a kid that did not focus. And if you see that in me sometimes, I think it shows sometimes. Sometimes it's just hard for me to stay focused when I'm just trying to keep going and going and going. But, that's why this is all practice. This is why, this off season's really important to me, because I see it as a chance to really get better. And but at least before a lot more people are paying attention. But no, Thomas, I didn't really want to stream at first. I just wanted some purpose and something to do. I didn't think about streaming until December, going into January, and it was mostly I just wanted something in life to keep me going and have a goal, and not be content with where I was. You never want to be content, and I was content the last 10 years of just working and coming home and working and coming home, and falling into a rut of not even being able to have fun, because in that time I was not going on trips or having vacations or nothing like that, and I was not having fun. So, maybe it's just a maturity thing. When you get older, you start to value your time more, and you value what you can do and achieve with your time. And I really do think that, Still Up and, late night sports talk needs to be a thing. And, at first, the streaming thing, there's plenty of reasons behind it. But, one of the reasons why Still Up exists is because I used to come home from work every night, and my neighbor would be coming home from work late night. And we both end up finding ourselves meeting up outside on the patios which connected, and we'd be having drinks or talking, and we just talk sports for 3 hours a night. Whether it's about the Broncos, the Packers, the league, UFC, football, basketball, whatever. We were always talking about whatever's going on, and so that's why Still Up kind of is a thing, because every night I was still up with my neighbor Jake talking, just standing outside, leaning over the fences of each other's on the fence that separates the two patios, and just leaning on the fence talking ball all night for a few hours straight. So with the reason behind it, Still Up exists because I would come home and I would have no one to talk ball with after he moved. He still lives in Vegas. He just moved across town, but me and him would sit here and we would just talk ball. And with him being gone, or at least moved across town, we haven't been able to do that at night. And so I started, because that made me realize when he made the move, is like I really realized like there definitely isn't like no live media, no live sports talk to engage in. All I get is leftovers from what people made during the day, or whatever NFL Network or ESPN is just playing a rerun, and their reruns play often fast. And I think that there should be someone talking at this time of night, even if it's someone like me who maybe would be better off behind the scenes, or maybe doing something else. I just think that this idea of late night sports talk needs to be out there. I don't care if it's me or whoever it is pushing it. It needs to be out there. I wish I could have came home at night and sat down and watched a Broncos show when I got off work at midnight. But there was no Broncos show when I got off work at midnight, so I became the Broncos show when I get off work at midnight. And it's just crazy how that works, Sometimes there's something you want in life and it doesn't even exist, so then you have to become it. And that's what happened with me in Still Up Sports. There was no late night sports talk, and here I am. And there was I did want to name it Graveyard Sports, because it would be on during what normally is the graveyard shift for a lot of people. But I thought that Still Up Sports made a lot of sense, just because the fact that I would always talk about how, I was still up with Jake. Yep, I was still up outside talking sports with Jake. So Jake played a big factor in this channel even existing, just because, he was a great neighbor, and just being able to come home from work at midnight and talk sports till like 3 or 4 in the morning. And then it made me think about, like, man, there's a lot of people that work these late hours. Like, I get off at midnight, but I used to work the graveyard shift. So I used to work midnight to 8 a.m. And during that time, I would have killed for a Broncos streamer to be live at that time. The local radio in Denver doesn't even go on air till like 5 or 6 in the morning, I believe. I think it's like 6 in the morning in Denver when they go live. So, yeah, guys, it's... I just never really thought that I would get into streaming, but then I just wanted more purpose. Sorry, guys. I wanted more purpose, and I just wanted to talk sports late night. And my neighbor that I would do that with was gone, so that I looked online, and there was just no live sports to enjoy. So then I was like, well, the only way to do it is if I'm doing it, and that's how you got Still Up Sports. I didn't want to stream at first, and I still find my moments where I struggle with it in terms of like, the social anxiety part of it. Like I have people looking at me, and I'm an introvert. I don't like being looked at or stared at or discussed about. But it's a process, and I'm really enjoying the growing out of my shell part with it, because it's neat to see how you can improve every day, and how you can just try to better yourself, and just step out of your comfort zone. If you step out of your comfort zone at least once a day, you're going to become more of a experienced and badass person every day. But yeah, guys, so that's the point with Still Up. No, I didn't expect to stream, and yeah, here I am streaming. It was not expected, but you do what you got to do when you believe in something, and I believe in this concept. This channel isn't even like, I think the worth of this channel or the show, the worth is not in the show itself or the channel itself. The worth is the airtime of when we are airing, because it's filling the gap. We're filling the gap for the people that deserve it, and would either be stuck watching reruns from other platforms the day before, or could either be watching reruns from ESPN or NFL Network. So that's why we're here live. Next question. But moral of the story for that previous question, I got into streaming because you got to become what you want to see. And if there's nothing out there, you truly have to do it. Let's see. You said, for short and long-term goals, what do you want for this channel? And what do you hope you can do with this channel? Yeah, so short-term goals, guys, is just to get up to 100 subs. Short-term goals is just to get switched over to StreamYards this week. Short-term goals is to get Petros on in the next week or two. Then at that point, we're going to put out fillers to see if we can record, do some interviews with some people, even if they're off the clock. I mean, they don't have to be live. I would prefer if some of these interviews are not live and I can just air them during the show. It would be nice to do it that way. And then after I air them on the show, I can release them as videos or as shorts. But yeah, so those are the short-term goals, guys. 100 subs, switch over to StreamYards, get Petros on, and then start looking for guests and start looking for people that want to stream together. Long-term goals, on the other hand, I got some long-term goals, guys. I really think that this channel is going to grow its best if I can get it out to Colorado and get to Denver. And all my goals are for this year personally. I have some personal goals. I'm in the middle of trying to finish getting my high school diploma. I was a high school dropout my senior year, living in Utah, just so I could go work 2 jobs at Albertsons and at Texas Roadhouse. And that was out of necessity because in high school in Utah I was homeless and did not want to live in the shelter, so it was either living in hotel rooms or camping. And I was working multiple jobs at times, and then at one point I even left Texas Roadhouse to go to Albertsons full-time. But with that being said, I'm trying to work on my diploma because I was a high school dropout senior year. Towards the beginning and middle year of senior year, I dropped out. So there's still just a few things I got to get taken care of. But I'm working on that, and I'm actually in the process of trying to get my driver's license. I haven't had one. And I need to get one. I've never lived in a place where I've needed a car. I've always been able to get around town easy, and I've never needed to bring people with me. Nothing. I've never needed a car in my life, and I definitely want a car, and I need to get the license first because I'm eyeing some stuff. But in terms of a long-term goal of mine, I'm just trying to get at least this year, if I can get my diploma and then get my license, I want to get a van, like a Toyota van or something like that, or a big truck or something like that. But I would like to get something that I can make the move to Colorado in. And I would like the idea of a van because then I could set the podcast studio up inside the back of a van. It'd be so cool. But if not, I also like the idea of just getting just a vehicle in general and just making the move to Colorado, because I think that a long-term goal for this channel is to be in Colorado. With this channel, I just want to normalize the idea of late night sports. With this channel, if it ends up having to be something that down the line I sell to someone, or I give away some equity to bring in someone to really work with me 50-50 on this, or if it's something that we grow and grow to where we're just unstoppable, like Perno type level, that would be awesome too. But There's some big goals, but none of these goals I think happen unless I bring the show to Colorado. So there's that small goal of mine, like let's just get the license, let's just spend a year saving, and let's try to get a van of some sort, and build a podcast studio in the van, make the move to Colorado in the van, and at least I'd be able to literally go attend and cover everything because I'd have a mobile podcast studio. But it's I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this channel long term. I don't think long term too far. I just know that I want this to be something that can be bring some good to this world too. So that's why I want to do some long form streams as well as some for charity stuff. But then I like the idea of doing something like I have this idea or dream in the back of my head of like this channel could be really something that can help people. So even if because I'm learning. And if I had to go find myself a young producer that loves the Broncos but is like out of college or need, an intern or whatever, I gladly do whatever we can to try to like do something with this channel and make it where it can be a stepping stone for others. Get people's get your foot wet in the door. That's how it is for me. So if I could find other people that want to like take a step up in their lives or in their careers or in their crafts, and maybe Still Up can help them. Maybe that would help. Besides that, I want to do like some charity stuff, and I want this channel to just grow into something positive, no matter what it is or how it goes, whether it's just me running it the rest of my life and it's just me the whole time, which it will not be. There will be a point where I need help from someone, and someone will probably join in on me with this, but this is all me. All the producing, all the equipment, all the topics, everything. This is all me. In terms of just, long term, I would love to see the show either be in a position where we can have, some kind of real traction, or because this show, again, and like I said, it's not the show, it's not the channel, it's the time period. And that alone makes me think that, like, it's just... the show may be, the name and like the channel exists and all that stuff, but I think, people need to look at it as a time period more than anything else. And I would gladly, make the show something that can go towards a bigger network or a bigger brand. I'd give it away to a bigger network or a bigger brand as long as it could still be something that I had creative control over. And by creative control, I mean at least say in like how things worked, but also, who got to work on it, because I do want that this to be something that maybe people in the future can use the springboard themselves in their careers, and still being able to, grow and develop, because as I grow and develop on the show, it's making me appreciate every person that's involved in this business, like I'm producing or editing or anything like that. And, I would love if this could be something that, could really help other people too in their advancement in life, because I feel like this is helping me advance in my life. So I would love if this can just help someone else somehow. But in terms of long-term goals, Thomas, maybe some fundraising stuff. Long term is hard to think about, but maybe down the line, just getting others involved, whether I get someone involved with the channel, whether I sell the show or the channel to someone else, and I'm still there with it no matter what, but maybe at least that way there's resources, some more help behind it, or maybe at one point we do like a merging thing where with someone and we decide to like merge with someone or whatever. There's going to be something that happens at one point for this channel, but long term, all we're trying to do, or at least we're focused more on the present, and all we're trying to do is just put out streams every week and get better and better with all the technology and with how we speak on camera. We're just trying to grow. We're as tiny as can be now, and it'll be cool to look back at this stream maybe in 5-6 years and be like, wow, that time really flew. But yeah, thank you for that question. That one got me really thinking more and more, honestly, because I don't know how any of this or that would work, but I do have a small dream of getting the channel out to Colorado too. And if I can get it out to Colorado, I feel like the sky's the limit with anything. because there's a lot more resources and a lot more things out there that can help me and make this channel thrive. On top of the fact of, I would love to go to college and looking in options of, trade schools or colleges, just stuff to try to better myself and professionalize myself too. I want this to be as professional and look as professional as possible in the future, guys. Let's see. Who helped you into making content? Let's see. Who helped you into making content? So, frankly, no one's helped me in terms of no one's like help me. I've had plenty of support and people like pushing me and motivating me, and I can name a good few people off the top of the head. But also in terms of who's been helping me, technically no one's been like helping me. No one's been like, I guess I've gotten an offer from one person to like test my equipment. But in terms of like, no one's been helping me, like, saying, like, you can try doing this more, do this, do that. Most of all the information I get, or at least stuff I get, is just support and, kind words and stuff. So that helps. And also, I don't try to ask for any of the help. I would love to be like, if I had it my way, I would reach out to every single one of these creators that I talk to or whatever, and I would just be like, hey, how should I do this, or how do I do this better, or how do you do that, or how do you do this? But or like reach out to some other people and just try to ask for information, or try to like pry for information. And that's just not me. That's the introvert in me, I don't try to go out of my way to get into people's business or get them into my business. It's just I try to, if they're going to support me and root for me, I want them to see that I can do stuff on my own first. And that's part of why I think some of these creators I have not hopped on is just because, or tried to hop on with me sooner, or tried to get me on sooner. It's because I got a lot more to improve on myself before I think I'm ready for any of that, or at least before I'm ready to, try to be beneficial or helpful to anyone else. But yeah, there's been plenty of help in terms of like, people tell me like that I need to get going, or a lot of supportive comments from a lot of people that I admire. I could pull up that whole chart again on like those Broncos shows, but I admire like half of them, or most of half of that list. I've at least talked to a lot of those creators or people that run those shows or pages or channels, and those guys are a lot of them are very sweet, straight down the earth humans. So I love them all. My biggest supporters or biggest help in terms of kind words and being there, Mile High Monster Mike, he was the guy that really was like pushing me to try to like get going. You have your camera, you have your computer, what's stopping you. And for me, if I had it my way, I would have waited till I got the couch, and I would have waited till every little thing. But no, Mike was really supportive, and that support to really push me and keep going. It really helps. It makes you really want to do better, not just for the person that's offering the kind words, but for yourself too. Because if they can believe in you, why can't you believe in you? And so Mike's been very supportive with that. Zach Stevens, of course, DNVR. He's probably the only person I reached out to, personally, and was like, how do I do this on camera, or how do I act on camera? How do you act on camera? And Zach is just so straight, himself. So it comes off as easy for him. But for me, I am not good on camera, I think, and not naturally. It takes me some time to, really feel comfortable, or let alone sit here and talk, for over 2 hours. But he gave some great feedback on it, like how to no overanalyzing things, just don't make it more than it needs to be, kind of stuff. It was really supportive, and I know I still see him liking the posts on Instagram and stuff like that, so it means the world to me to have the supportive guys like Mike and Zach, and on TikTok when I made the TikTok account. Ben from Sports Talk Denver, he's single-handedly changing the game. To have him reach out on TikTok when I had less than 20 followers and he was curious, I was like, wow, thank you, man, that's awesome. And we're only at 26 followers on TikTok, and to have him pop on was still cool. At least pop into my DM and tell me like he's excited to see what I do. Because right now, guys, it's not much, but I can go long and long if I needed to. I bet you I can go longer than most of these streamers. I could go for 4 or 5 hours. A lot of it's rambling still, but imagine what we'd do if we had some better organization to this than some experience. So that's why we stream it at least 3 times a week now, so we can get more experience each week. All right, next question. Who inspired me into making content? Who inspired me, man? I wasn't inspired by anyone to stream. The idea to stream was, I guess, all my own. It wasn't like I want to be like that. Now, who inspires me when I stream is a different thing. DNVR, that's good Broncos, that's good sports. Brandon Perna. I've been watching Perna since high school. So Perna is like a god to the Broncos sports community. If there's a Broncos Mount Rushmore of creators or journalists or people, just like a Broncos Mount Rushmore, maybe Barrelman, maybe John Elway, maybe Brandon Perna, and then however you want for that other person. But, I guess I really am inspired by Brandon Perna. I am inspired by, Tom Grossi. I am inspired by DNVR, and it's because all of them do a lot of charity stuff. DNVR even does a lot of charity stuff. And, I'm inspired by, the kindness and greatness of all those people involved with That's Good Sports. That's good. The Grossi Posse. And with DNVR too, I'm inspired by every one of those people, because those people just care about sports so much, and then they also care about how they can get the sports talked about and pushed out there to as many ears as possible, and how at times how they can help as many people as possible too. So, in terms of who inspires me, I would say it's DNVR, it's Brandon Perna, it's Tom Grossi. Those people inspire me in terms of everything on here. But no one inspired me to make the channel. The inspiration, I guess, was my own. But it was just mostly from a void of not having sports talk at night, and then deciding to become that sports talk. Let's see. All right, is there someone you really want to meet? Sorry, hold on. Is there someone you really want to meet in the future, and if so, who is it and why? So Brandon Perna is one of them for sure. I'd love to meet Perna. Meeting Grossi was so cool. So Perna's on that list. I've met a good chunk of those DNVR cats that inspire me, and I'm gonna go meet a bunch of them again in November. So, in terms of people that inspire me, or that is there people that I'm excited to meet, or that I would really love to meet? Football-wise, Bronco-wise, Philip Lindsay would be cool. Just because the man literally has the heart of a Bronco. That's how a Bronco plays. That's who a Bronco is, how a Bronco acts. So. In terms of who I would love to meet, Philip Lindsay would be cool. Dave Logan, I've already put Dave Logan on that list. Dave Logan is one of my goats. I imagine it. Petro said he's going to try to help me because Dave coached his brother, but I'm going to try to bring a Dave Logan 85 jersey and get it signed, because then I could add it right next to Todd Davis and Benny Fowler's jersey, but it will say Voice of the Broncos. I would love it. I would love to see Dave Logan up there. Dave Logan's awesome. I've been watching him for a while. Let's see. I'm not counting people I've already met. That's why I'm not counting anyone from DNVR, because I would add Zach there for sure. But I mean, I already look forward to meeting. Well, I mean, seeing Zach again. It's not meeting anymore. It's just seeing again. Zach's become a great friend. I look up to Zach as just as a human being, as a creator. He is 100% DMVRs, but in terms of the human side of Zach, I think he belongs to all of us fans, and Zach's a great human being, underlooked reporter and creator for DMVR. It's easy to just be like, see him as Zach Stevens DMVR, but no one sees him as Zach Stevens. Everyone sees him as just that reporter. And in a room full of big reporters, it's easy for him to go under the radar when you got bigger names that have been in there for forever. But I'm not counting DMVR people in people that I want to meet, because I've already met them, or most of them, and I'm going to go back and meet them again. So it's not like that's a thing. So Philip Lindsay would be one. If Demaryius Thomas was alive, Demaryius would be up there. He would be the person I would say that inspires me. I can add DT to the inspires me thing, because DT inspired me as a kid, and I can still say DT inspires me even if he's not here. He lives on with us, and DT is definitely in my heart, and Demaryius Thomas definitely inspires me, even with him gone. The way he lived his life, his smile, his kindness, DT is definitely someone that I looked up to and was inspired by. I had a fake plastic baby when I took the child development class, and I named it Demaryius Thomas, and it was a black baby, and I was this white redhead kid walking around a Mormon Utah school, with a black baby, and I was just calling it Demaryius. But I looked up to DT, man. So if anyone inspired me that, or anything like that, or just someone that I would love to meet, it would have been DT. If there's, in terms of players I'd love to meet, any one of them that have met DT, so I can try to ask him DT questions. Like if I meet Benny Fowler again, I'm going to make sure I ask him about DT. I got to make sure I hit him with a good DT question. Yeah, guys, there's not many people on that list. If anything, the people that I want to meet is you guys, the subscribers and the followers, because you guys are the real rock stars in my books. If I weren't a Broncos fan, what team would I root for? Wow, that one really hits hard. It's hard to imagine my life without the Broncos. I would say that, I don't know. I really don't know. I'd probably pick something with cool colors. Maybe a cat team. Probably just for, because I'm a cat dad. Pick a cat team. Which is a little rough choice, because some of those cat teams suck or have never been good. Honestly, I can't tell you what team I would have picked. I can't tell you. None of them really appeal to me like that. None of the Cali teams appeal to me. I mean, I got some love for the Rams a little bit, but not like that. So, all right, maybe actually, I got a good one for you, and it's a bad team still, and it's a team that still historically has not done much. But growing up here in Vegas, I always had, and even when I lived in Utah, I had a mutual admiration for the Arizona Cardinals, even though I realize that they're owned by a super cheap owner who literally will make his players pay for food. growing up, I had a big respect for Cardinals fans because I was like, wow, there's a team all the way in Arizona, and I'm seeing fans here in Utah, here in Nevada. I thought that was a big deal. And any Cardinals fan I've ever met, it's sometimes you don't see them. It feels like Cardinals fans exist at times to the scarcity of Chargers fans. But when it comes to Cardinals fans, they're actually pretty kind, and they're very supportive and diehard. So if I had to pick a team, it would be somewhere like more regionally based. So I would still try to get as close to the Midwest, Southwest as I can get. So if I can't go Broncos, my next best choice would be the Cardinals, probably. That's what I would do, because I wouldn't pick a Texas team. I don't like any of the teams in Texas. Yeah, I would have been probably a Cardinals fan, honestly, if I really could have like thought on it for years or really chose myself. But the Broncos chose me, so I didn't choose myself. They chose me. But if anything, maybe a Cardinals fan. That's a great question, though. It's hard to really think about it that way and say, like, let's say you just forget everything about the team you love and you're just thinking right off the top of your head, who would be cool, or who do I think looks cool, who has the cool colors or the logo. And for some reason, I always thought that little Cardinal logo was cool. And the red and white, I used to love red and white, and I still like the red and white. You know, if you're a Buffs fan, you're not going to like it because it reminds you of Nebraska. But to me, red and white just gets me thinking about UNLV. So, you know, I always had love for UNLV. So that's what that gets me thinking of. So, yeah, if I had to pick, I guess I'd be a Cardinals fan. Guys, you let me know if you were not a Broncos fan, or if you were not a fan of the team that you are a fan of right now, who would you be a fan of in the NFL? Because like I said, if I had to not be a Broncos fan overnight, I would probably choose based off of the region. So I'd probably go with the Cardinals. That's a great question, though. And it really gets you thinking. Let's see. Yeah, so my thoughts on the Golden Knights. I did answer that earlier. I'll answer it again, though. It's going to be a 7-game series, 6-game series, probably. I think it's going to be a tight series no matter what. I think I still have the Knights pulling it out, though, because I predicted the winner of the Western Conference will win the whole thing, whether it was Avs or Knights, and I'm still riding with that prediction. Let's see. If you were to live in another country, where would it be and why? All right, so this is the final question, probably. If I had to live in another country, oh, man, if I had to say it, you know, and oh, man, that's a good one. Like, if money was no problem or stuff, and, like, just no expenses, just anywhere, and there's so many great choices. I'd say Mexico, just because I'd want to be on this side of the world, you know, the Western Hemisphere, and I think going to Mexico puts you kind of in the middle of North and South America, and I mean, it's not Central America, which is, I guess, the middle, but I would pick probably Mexico, just because I think Mexico gives you the best of everything. They have mountains, they have, they have jungles, they have deserts, Mexico gives you everything, plus you get amazing culture, amazing food. I fell in love with Mexico when I went, and I'm not even denying that. Hopefully in the next few years I can plan a trip back to Mexico City, or anywhere, just because I fell in love with the place. Loved the locals, loved the food. I loved that no matter where I went for food, the food was great. Now, as a tourist, my first few days there, my stomach was a little weak, and I did throw up a little bit, or, you know, you have a little weak stomach, so I spent some time sitting on the toilet, and that was maybe just an adjustment period. Sometimes food is made differently or has, you know, tastes differently. You know, maybe it's a bacteria thing. It takes a second to adjust sometimes, but I enjoyed every bit of my food while I was there, and I fell in love with everything about Mexico City. And so specifically, if I could pick, it would probably be Mexico City or one of those coastal Mexico cities. On the Pacific coast, of course, not on the Gulf Coast. That's because I'm a Pacific Ocean person all day long. I prefer the cold water of the Pacific Ocean over the warm waters of the Gulf and the Atlantic Ocean any day. Because the whole point is going into water to cool off, not to go hop in the warm beach water to, get slightly colder, but still nice and warm and hot. That makes no sense. If I wanted to be in water that was hot, I'd hop in a hot tub, not in the warm ocean. That's why I hop in cold oceans. Sorry, guys, little ocean talk. I'm sorry, I did not mean to get into ocean talk right there. But I'm an ocean person, especially a Pacific Ocean person. I love the Pacific. So if I had it my way of where I could live, I'd pick Mexico. And it'd probably be Mexico City, or it would be one of those Mexican cities on the coast, on the Pacific coast. Maybe Baja. Baja would be cool, too. I do want to explore Baja. I do want to go camping in Baja on the coast one day. That's why I want to get a van in the future for like road trips and stuff, because then I could still do podcasts in a van, because you can just throw a Starlink on top of, on top of the roof. Yeah, all right, guys. So we're probably going to cut it in here. We're going to end it. I'm going to get ready for Monday's show, as well as I'm going to spend the weekend trying to transfer everything over on the Streamlabs, because we already have some stuff transferred over, and we're just trying to get everything finally finished over there. And hopefully on Monday we can try to do a stream on StreamYards. And that way we can try to get Petros on. Because we do want to have other guests on there, and we do want to do stuff with other people. Yep, you can see Apollo's right here, guys. I wish you all a great night. Apollo wishes you a great night. He's up here sleeping, just relaxing, being a tired boy. So I think that's our call to get out of here. Thank you, everyone, for showing up, or anyone who did show up. It's still a rough process. It's a learning process, but, we're getting there. Just thank you for the support, guys. We went up to 35 subs. We went to 36. We went up to 76 subs, and then we went back down to 75. So someone joined in and someone left. So we were not their cup of tea, but maybe we'll be someone else's cup of tea. Either way, we're 25 subs from 100. 25 subs from 100 on YouTube. So let's try to get it, guys. I appreciate you all, and thank you for being still up. Have a great day. It's an amazing Friday, and it hasn't even started yet, so go kill it, and keep being you guys. Thank you. Have a great night.